Quilters are a generous bunch that will make a quilt to mark an event, to soothe an illness, to express art. We come together as a community in times of need, always looking for a reason to give a gift of warmth. Quilters are not sewers, we are creators. We are givers and even artists. We love the process, the legacy, and the accomplishment, but mostly we love the story. Every quilt has one.
Hello there, my name is Nancy Harris and I currently live in Spokane, Washington, but I grew up in this beautiful area, the Columbia Basin, very near to where the fabric patch is located now. I have always loved looking at quilts and admired the work that went into them, but I decided pretty early on that I didn't have the patience to make quilts when I was younger. And that all started because my brother's then girlfriend, who's now been his wife of over 50 years, was at our house and she was cutting out fabric for a quilt. And she was using cardboard, little 4-inch square of cardboard, and drawing lines on this fabric and then cutting them out. And I thought, there's no way. I could not do that. So life went on and I got busy, and quilting took a back seat to everything that was going on. But about 1998, I got the bug again, and I found myself doing a lot of reading, looking at quilts, reading, looking at pattern books, ordering magazines, and then the big change happened for me. In 2003, I moved to a very, very, very small town in eastern Oregon. So small that in fact the nearest town was 60 miles away. And even though the town was so small, it had the most incredible quilt shop, owned by the most incredible person, much like Cindy, only older. And she realized by how much time I was spending in the shop that I truly loved quilting and everything that went along with it. But I was in there reading the pattern books, reading the magazines, until one day she said, "Would you like to take a class?" And I thought, yes, I would. Well, it was only 2 blocks from our house, so I would walk down there every day, and she would work with me a little bit more on making my first quilt, which was a lot like Cindy's woodpile. Just strips and very easy to make. I do remember the day she walked up to me and said, "Never ever do that again." And I said, "Do what again?" She said, "Never ever leave your rotary cutter on the counter with the blade exposed." And I don't think I ever have ever since then. So I had a lot of time to work on sewing and piecing and enjoyed every minute of it. And then in about 2 years later, my son, my oldest child, my only son, announced his engagement. Well, I was so far away, not easy to get back and forth, that I missed out on a lot of the pre-wedding type of activities. But I decided I am going to make them a quilt, and I'm going to make them a beautiful quilt stitched with love. Well, they were very much water people, so scuba diving, skiing, swimming, boating, and I decided I wanted to make it out of Caribbean colors type of thing. And that's this quilt. But first I had to figure out how to make it. So I bought Eleanor Burns's book, Trip Around the World, and somewhere, I can't even tell you where, but I found a VHS tape that she did for making this quilt. And I read and I watched and I read, and then finally I decided I just had to jump in and do it. Well, I got it done, and it was time for the wedding weekend, and I came to Post Falls where the wedding was, and I didn't have the binding on. So I spent the entire day before their wedding in the hotel room stitching on the binding of this quilt. But it was a surprise gift, so I couldn't tell them that's what I was doing. I had to get very creative with why I wasn't out there helping them get set up for the wedding. The other reason that this quilt and the time was so special to me is that was a really hard adjustment, moving from a town of 400,000 to a town of 400. Although the people were lovely, I enjoyed the time. I had always worked full time. I had time to pursue other things. I was at the quilt shop every single day, so much so that I think my husband thought I actually worked there. But I was struggling with the fact that I was gone away from my family and my friends and my work. And that's when I discovered how therapeutic stitching fabric to make something beautiful can be. And I actually started making quilts for the quilt shop there to put on display. I did some commissioned quilts, and I did some quilts for free for my friends, and fell totally in love. And I have been doing that ever since. So that's why this quilt is so special to me. That's why quilting is so special to me. And I have to say, I'm not a quilter actually, I'm a piecer. I send my quilts out to be done by a very, very good friend of mine. But I love making blocks. I love sitting down at my machine. I had an illness 5 years ago, and again I struggled with coming back from that. And I remember calling my sister who lives in Moses Lake one day and said, I'm done. Come get my fabric, sell my machine for me. I'm done. I can't do this. And she said, yes, you can. Yes, you can. And she would call me, have you sewn those charm squares together? I can't. Yes, you can. Have you sewn those charm squares? Well, I've sewn 4 of them. Okay, sit down, you can sew 4 more. And I did. And I sewed 4 more, and I sewed. So I owe my sister Barbara a big thanks and gratitude for helping me that second time renew my love of doing such therapeutic work. And that's my quilting story.
Thank you for watching our video. We invite you to leave a comment, hit the like button, or better yet, subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode. You can also visit our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or Pinterest pages, or find all of those things and our online store at fabricpatch.net.